Hello, dear viewers. We will discuss open relationships and the reasons behind their trends. We shared methods, but now we need to understand why these issues arise. Why do we see these conflicts in family courts leading to divorce? Both men and women face the aftermath of conflicts. What triggers these fights? Why do they arise to such an extent? Our psychologist will explain how to resolve these issues. We have psychologist Tahira Rubab with us. Welcome to the show. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? Your entire family gets affected. Basically, I believe one reason is such relationships deteriorate on the basis of so much anxiety, so much doubt. What is the reason for this? What do our psychologists say about resolving issues? When certain thoughts arise, it becomes alarming and change is needed. We have psychologist Tahira Rubab with us to discuss this. Welcome. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? Thank you for your time. Why do family conflicts escalate unnoticed, reaching separation within months? Ego plays a significant role in both parties, thinking the other should understand without communication. This lack of communication leads to tension and relationship breakdowns. Communication often turns into blame games, repeating past grievances. Instead, there should be solution-oriented conversations. Discuss problems, share concerns, and find solutions. Such communication is rare among couples. Often unrealistic expectations exist, expecting understanding without expression. As women gain empowerment and economic power, family institutions have weakened, losing their strong identity.
Ego is strong in both spouses, causing communication barriers. We hold grievances, expecting others to understand without speaking. Communication often turns into blame games, revisiting past grievances. Instead, focus on solution-oriented conversations. Discuss problems, share concerns, and find solutions. Expectations are high and often unrealistic. As women gain empowerment, family institutions have weakened. You could say there are grievances, but along with that, we have our needs. We often think that the other person should understand us without us having to say anything. They should know what we need and what we want. When you keep a lot of things bottled up in your mind and create your own narratives, it adds to the tension. You don't communicate because you expect the other person to understand. Meanwhile, the other person is left wondering if there's some issue, thinking maybe there's some resentment, and they might try to share their thoughts. Ultimately, this leads to the end of many relationships. One major issue is the lack of appropriate communication. Communication often turns into blame games where we keep bringing up past grievances. This happened at that time, that happened, my mother did this, my sister did that, you did this. And then you talk about their family in the same way. Most of the time, these issues keep repeating. However, there should be a solution-oriented conversation. Let's discuss the problems. You have your concerns, and I have mine. Let's talk about it and find a solution. This kind of appropriate communication that leads to solutions is almost non-existent among couples. There are very high expectations from each other, and these expectations are often unrealistic. We expect the other person to understand us without us having to say anything. I've seen that over the years as women are becoming more empowered, which is great. Economic power actually gives you a significant standing. You become capable of supporting your husband and family, which is wonderful. However, at the same time, I believe that our family institution, which used to be our identity and a strong institution, has weakened significantly. The reasons for this are that we are now focusing more on authority and not on building relationships. We prioritize empowerment over relationships. In-laws, they focus primarily more on empowerment and not on relationship building. I still believe that when a girl marries and moves in, her in-laws should provide space and acceptance so she feels part of the household. But issues remain. The woman is scrutinized for habits, unlike their own children. These pressures make her not see in-laws as family. She sees them as adversaries to distance from. There are two families, yours and your husband's. Without nurturing relationships, you distance from loved ones. The things that get added on, and at that moment, the girl does not see her in-laws as her family. She thinks of them as just another group of people, as her enemies, as those from whom she needs to distance herself at some stage. Ultimately, there are two families, your own family and your husband's family. When you don't nurture your relationships, you distance yourself from your loved ones. Ultimately, there are two families, your own family and your husband's family. When you don't nurture your relationships, you distance yourself from your loved ones.